Construction News Tracker is presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. Dodge Data is reporting the second quarter of the financial year for the U.S. will be much worse than the first quarter outcome. While the first quarter GDP came in at a loss of 4.8%, consumer spending has dropped 7.8%, the worst since 1980. Dodge believes the second quarter will be even more dour, dropping by 24% on an annualized basis, and this may become an overly optimistic projection. Dodge April Index dropped by 6% to 135.9 as the commercial component lost 7.6%, while the institutional component fell by 3.2% as the virus left a significant impact on the economy. At Associated Builders and Contractors, Chief Economist Anirban Basu reports he sees the economy for construction facing a steep decline occurring in three phases. In Phase 1, says Basu, social distancing and other CDC restrictions on the industry will continue while certain locales maintain construction shutdown orders. Phase 2 will be the downturn and economic recovery, which Basu says will bring about the deepest recession since that in 2008 and 9. In Phase 3, the ABC Economist predicts construction activity will lag behind the broader economy by 12 to 18 months, as empty storefronts and office suites will produce a malaise in construction that could last for years. The latest construction backlog indicator is showing 7.7 to 8.2 months, while the latest construction confidence index, measured among ABC members in late March, revealed contractors' expectations for sales, profit margins, and staffing levels fell below the 50-point median mark for the first time in history. Bleak new figures from the Department of Labor continue to show a tremendous increase in the number of workers filing unemployment claims. The latest adding 3.8 million and reaching 30 million in the 6 weeks since the virus was first discovered. The April unemployment numbers have the nation at 14.7% without jobs, the highest since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Caterpillar has reported out its first quarter sales and revenue numbers, and they show a loss of $10.6 billion, or 21% from the same number in 2019. As of mid-April, globally and across the three primary segments of the company, CAT says 75% of its facilities continue to operate. The company said continued operations during the COVID-19 pandemic will be impacted by the ongoing situation worldwide. Another barometer of the health of construction is the one from the chief economist of Portland Cement, Ed Sullivan. His is a long-term outlook for the industry, and Sullivan's latest is grim, to say the least. Sullivan says the nation is in a deep recession and will not soon emerge from it. Cement consumption is down 30% currently, and Sullivan says it will drop 31% in May and June, although Midwest and mountain states are not expected to be hit as hard. This has always been a good indicator of what to expect in overall construction activity, so the next few months are expected to be challenging. California is slated to lose $370 million in gas tax loss due to its stay-at-home order during the virus crisis. Researchers claim road miles have dropped 75% since the start of the pandemic in the Golden State. Across the country in New Jersey, the loss of fuel tax revenue could spur a new jump in that state gas tax under a law passed in 2016. North Carolina has been hit with a $300 million budget shortfall as a result of the pandemic and is cutting back on some road projects. Add to the list Mississippi, Missouri, Washington, and others facing severe limitations in the future as motorists have stopped driving and stopped buying gasoline and diesel fuels, resulting in these budget pitfalls for the states. The flood outlook for the nation's midsection expected to see a great improvement this year as storm predictions call for lesser amounts of rainfall. The National Weather Service forecast for 23 states calls for a declined risk this year as opposed to 2019, when $20 billion in damage was caused by flooding. Floodplains are being gradually changed as residents and officials recognize the need to create more parks, marshes, and forests on land surrendered in recent years to flooding. Even as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which has built hundreds of levees and dams, sees the need to change the way we think about landscape in threatened regions. As one official put it, we need to shape our communities around our rivers rather than shape our rivers around our communities. In closing, the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. This is Construction News Tracker, looking over the industry that makes the world a better place, presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. Follow us on social media at Twitter using hashtag Construction News, YouTube at 4constructionpros, and on Facebook at /4constructionpros, as the streaming web never ends.
Construction News Tracker is presented by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com.